Good morning. My name is Alicia Board, and I'm representing Southern University at New Orleans, and the team is the Cookie-Bytes. Today, I had a question for people in the audience to see if you can relate to what it is that I am discussing this morning. Has anyone ever been in a situation where you're in need of vital records information, and when you got to your destination, you just didn't have it in your hand? All right, sir in the black.
Yes, I didn't have my coding card, I couldn't get in the party.
Oh, that's very important. Anybody else? All right, ma'am.
I was at the airport, didn't have my ID, and I couldn't get access every while.
That sounds horrible. Okay, last person, what about you?
Went to the airport without my passports and I was going to Mexico. So
Oh.
it happened, and either way it worked out well.
Okay.
It was just a bad thing.
So it sounds like it's a prevalent problem that all of us experience just personally. I've experienced Hurricane Katrina. So Hurricane Katrina unexpectedly happened, and before anyone could give any type of assistance government-wise, I needed to be able to identify myself. Well, I couldn't do that if my vital records were at home in a paper form and were destroyed. And with the city being underwater, who was I going to reach out to? So it just was something that further delayed a person who might need access to something being able to get their information. And this is how me and my team came up with InfoPalmer. So InfoPalmer is a user-friendly application that would house all of your vital information and vital records in one application versus having to depend on paper-issued or paper-formed identifications. The problem, again, that we all seem to be able to relate to is that a lot of vital records, marriage licenses, social security cards, birth certificates, are still issued in a paper form. And that's unfortunately not keeping up with the trend today of going paperless. Almost every place that we go, they're trying to get you to go paperless. So if vital records are important, why are they still being issued in a paper format only? So InfoPalmer is a solution that we came up with to try to take care of that situation. And also another problem is it's really hard to get that information swiftly if you do lose it. So again, that's a solution that we're trying to come up with to take care of that problem that we're currently facing. So InfoPalmer will be paperless. That's the goal of it, to get all information that's vital to you and that you need instantly in one app. It's going to be like a one-stop shop where everything is being housed in that one place. So this is pretty much how the product would work. You click on the app, you would have to verify who you are. That would have like a two-way authentication system where you have to actually identify who you are. And even if you got to the home page, you'd have to further identify who you are once you get in as an added protection of security. This app would be compatible with iOS phones, Androids. It would also be compatible and usable for anyone who might have any type of disability. So we'll make sure that we aim to make sure that ADA accommodations are taken care of, as well as if you have any type of linguistic barriers, we'll make sure that you can pull up your language that you might be native to you in this application as well. So I know this could be something that is very concerning security. We want to make sure that when we create this app, that we're going to have, again, a two-system authentication to make sure that you have to either do some type of retinal, facial scan, thumbprint, any type of security that you feel that would, any type of method that you feel that you could use to log into the system. Once we get verification that the records that you're giving to us are valid, we'll be responsible from that part for making sure it's secure. Also, keeping up with the times. AI is stepping in and helping out to make sure that we're being a little bit more thorough when we're checking through things. So there's AI systems right now that are currently in place. There are scanning systems for threats, potential threats, breaches, anything that might be threatening. So we'll also use AI to make sure it's staying on top of anybody who might be trying to get into that app who doesn't belong there. Our target market. So as I mentioned before, this would be a great tool for the government to use, or for state or federal agencies to use, to be able to get information regarding our citizens instantly in case it was destroyed, in case anything happened to it. We're going to be targeting users who are about 21 years and above. That's people who are, legally identified, as well as state agencies. The target market that we'd like to first focus on would be Louisiana. Surprisingly, we have the most users who are currently using digital identification. We have about 1.5 million users in Louisiana using it. So we're going to target about 10% of that market, hopefully higher, but I think 10% is a nice size to target. What makes our particular product unique is that I don't personally know of any applications where you can get everything in one spot. You have to go to multiple ones to get it. And just talking to different peers or whatnot, it seems to be a problem that everybody would be willing to possibly use, an app that people would utilize because of that problem. And people usually pay for convenience, and this would be a convenient thing. So our marketing strategy, love social media. It's one of the freest places that you can get some advertisement to large people in a short amount of time, as well as we'll target travel agents. These people are the people who push travel, so why not push to get them to get on board with pushing our product? And our business model, so how we plan on making money is we'll sell subscriptions to this particular app. The app will have 3 different levels of subscriptions that you can log into, that you can subscribe to. And we'll have a premium, unlimited unlimited application membership that is called the Platinum membership. It'll be unlimited access to all of your documents. The lower levels you go down, the less access you have to all of the documents. And then we have a basic one where we'll just store maybe 1 or 2 for you in that particular app. So again, like I stated before, Louisiana does have the largest number of digital identification users. So we're going to start with trying to target Louisiana first. And again, we're going to go after about 10% of that market. And as we grow, we'll try to go to other states, we're going to aim to go to other states who also have high numbers of digital ID users to bring them on board. This is just a quick view of right now, currently the states that currently have active identification, virtual identification. So we're going to target the states in orange. The ones in black don't have it, but they're probably just waiting to follow the trend. Potentially, if we get 10% of the market and they subscribe to the basic membership, we're looking at in the first year in Louisiana, if we have 150,000 users at $10 a month for a year, you're looking at about 18 million. We'll target another state the next year. We'll target a third state the next year, and potentially a revenue of 79.8. Now, I know I haven't taken in the expenses, but this is potentially what we can make if we decide to go with creating the app. So right now, as far as competitors go, there's no competitors that offer all vital record or vital information in one area. You have to go to multiple sites. So as you can see, some of our competitors I would consider would be LA Wallet. You can only get state level identification. Clear is a really good app, but it's only fingerprints identification to get you through the airport. Unfortunately, the Social Security Department, 0. Now, e-passports, it's pulling up your information instantly, but it's still a microchip, so it's still physical. So we're trying to keep up, again, with today's trend and make everything digital. So our current status, we feel that we're about 50% done with all of the brainstorming, negotiating, getting feedback and everything from people to see how they feel about this particular thing coming into fruition. And we also have the support of our CISP professors at SUNO. They're willing to back us to help us get the digital part started to make sure we're covering everything we need to cover in order to bring this to fruition. So our next steps of where we're planning on going is getting the documents that we're actually getting recognized as legal documents. It won't be any good if it's just a scanned copy of something. We want to make sure that what we're housing is actually authentic. We also want to consult with legal teams to make sure that what we're doing is following the book. And lastly, we want to patent the idea. So in conclusion, InfoPalmer will be something that will bring data and data storage to, it'll bring data storage to where we're at today. We're going paperless. as well as this will be a user-friendly app, and it's potentially a good profit maker. And as you can see, this is the rest of our team who helped put this idea together that I'd like to introduce.
Hi, you guys. I am Carol Bryant.
I am Ryan Shelby.
And last time, Michael Cooper.
All
If you
right.
guys have any questions, you can proceed with that.
Yes, first of all, very, very good presentation. I think this is something that's definitely missing. And I definitely love to talk to you guys afterwards to see how I can personally help you guys move forward.
Thank you.
One of the questions that I have that I didn't see, you are dealing with vital information.
Yes.
One of the things that you have to be aware of is HIPAA laws.
Yes.
The thing that you talked about was security on the front end. Everybody is thinking that just because you're doing two-part authentication, that handles security. I'm curious to know, how are you really going to protect, because you're now dealing with people's personal information.
Yes.
on a higher scale, especially with federal government information. So how are you looking to protect that on the back end, as far as encryption? I know AI is new. I deal with it with the technology that we build. But how are you actually going to use that on the back end to protect everything from a security standpoint?
Okay, I'm gonna let my team answer as well, since I came up and spoke. But one of the things where I'm confident that this would actually be something that we can move forward and it will be secure, is that currently it's being utilized and used by other companies. So I'm feeling like we'll mirror them, see what they're doing, see what we like, see what we don't like, and make sure that when we get the consultation that's something that's definitely covered, because we do not want to put anybody's security or information at risk.
So we did consider such things as the HIPAA law. When you're dealing with that, with the type of documents that we're dealing with, you have to go through the government first to get their approval to make sure it's okay that we put this on the app. So the government is the first step. Us introducing the app to the government is the second, one of the other steps, if that answers your question. A little bit.
Can you actually share some more about that? So my question, great presentation. I guess we
you.
can start there. Barania Robillard. So my question is specifically around, what research have you all conducted? I guess like with the Federal Aviation Administration or with the Department of Transportation, to assess if they would be open to taking this app and all the documents. Would they consider them official documents as well?
The reason I thought that this was something that they would consider, because we are at their leisure. If they decide, yes, we'll work with you, no, we don't want to work with you. We looked at, like I said, that there are currently apps that are working hand in hand with the government for identification, like ClearMe. ClearMe is something that you can log into to get a fingerprint / your ID through a retina scan. So that's an official government-backed program, so we know that they can do it. We're hoping that they will do it. If they decide they don't want to do it, we'll have to reconfigure to see how can we still get everything in one spot. I still think we can have links to it if they don't want to back it by giving us the official document, but it's something that we think that, again, I think would make it easier for them if a natural disaster happens. They don't have to look for those person's information. It's already there, and they know it's there. So.
And also, not targeting, also surveying your peers and people this will be useful to. Just like when we go to vote for senators and things like that, right? Our vote matters the most. When we go to the government with this idea, we're gonna show our peers and other states agree with having this in the app called Info Palmer.
So let me clear up the federal piece for you. So just know this. Clear is providing us a service. When we start dealing with apps, we don't help you build it, we buy it.
Yes.
Okay, so we take it over and we make it what we want it to be. You don't have a say in that. You understand?
Yes.
So just know when you start talking to federal agencies that you have to be in a position for us to buy it. You need to sort of
I'm
like
very
let go,
comfortable
let
with that.
God, right? That's how that works.
I'm comfortable with
Okay.
that.
So other things that you need to consider is culture.
Yes.
I could not convince my mother to upload her social security card to you, right?
Yes.
So you need to make it incredibly comfortable for me to convince someone who's much older than me to do this because I don't trust the government.
Okay.
And I work for them, right?
Totally understandable. Like
So-
I joke about, I'm
Funny
older as
story.
well.
Miss Alicia is
Yeah.
like that too.
I'm
She's
older as
really
well. I'm
not-
like, you're not getting anything. But then I look back at, again, remembering what I went through with Katrina. I could not get a penny until they were able to verify. And I'm like, well, who am I going to call? They're still underwater. So you might be hesitant to do it, which you should be. You shouldn't jump, feet in first to anything. But we're keeping up again with the trend. And when you need that information, you're going to need it. InfoPalmer won't just focus on vital records, but information that's vital to you. How convenient would it be if I face a natural disaster and I have my insurance info, I have all of this stuff literally right there. It's just going to take away the pain and that's the stress of having to go and find that physical piece of paper that unfortunately still is being issued.
Absolutely. And we probably won't stop issuing paper.
Oh, no.
Right? But my question to you is, part of your marketing is to go after social media, right?
Yes.
That's sort of the low-hanging fruit. How do you plan to go after the folks that don't trust government? How do you get to them?
I'm sorry, team, I didn't want to keep
when
answering.
interviewing our peers, young and older, we had a situation where an older adult, a mature adult, was trying to get medication and she had no identification. So how long would it take for her to get an ID, birth certificate, or a social security card to identify herself for medication she takes every day? And that was her determining factor. She said, I've been through Katrina, I've been through other storms, my house has caught on fire. I still wasn't able to get to a Walgreens pharmacy and get my medication because I have no identification.
I have a question about your model and your strategy.
Yes.
It's kind of a couple questions, but I think you all will be able to get to it.
Okay.
So you said that your target market would be about 150,000 based on LA Wallet because they are tracking and trending at about 1.5 million.
Yes.
But considering that the population of Louisiana is about 4.6 million, so something that is created by the government for those documents is tracking at a fourth of the population, okay? Your 150,000 number is actually high.
Yes.
So help me understand how you get to that number, because what we're hearing just based on our questions is that there has to be a lot of education and trust gained. Where do you get the resources to invest in that part of the business to get to the market?
I think some of the places we can go for free. I'm involved a lot in the community with going to different centers and listening to people who come in and talk, and just there's always some kind of something going on in the city to educate you on something, how to better yourself and prepare for X, Y, and Z. I think that'd be a great place.
How do you get paid?
How do I get paid? I get paid.
That's time.
I get paid from the pleasure of informing you of this. And if I have, a stake in this, I'm going to get my money on the back end. But my pleasure comes from making sure I see less tears when an event happens, or less tears when you step up. So I don't mind, if I really believe in something, getting you on board and gaining that trust. And I think that's going to follow.
Okay. So my only response to that is that when you're talking to investors, there has to be a proposition, a value proposition to what you're presenting. And yes, your time is very valuable. And so I would say, please think about what that looks like and what that response, and even if you would do it for free, have a model to present that shows that value proposition and what that looks like.
Okay, definitely. All right, thank you all for taking time out to listen.